This is the beauty we've been waiting for. This is the worst issue with my bike, is that the rear monoshock is completely useless other than holding the bike up when nobody's sitting on it. It has no dampening whatsoever. It's all spring. It's got to go. It's not rebuildable. And I did look at replacing it with a slightly more expensive new unit and also with a less expensive KLR 650. But then you have to do modifications to the linkage to get the ride height back to regular. So I went with this in-between option from Bitubo, world champion international. Basically this ended up being $600 shipped from Italy. It was held up in Italy for over 3 weeks with clearance delay. So I'm standing around here riding my bike like a pogo stick around town, waiting and checking on the shipping on this thing every day. I finally contacted the seller on eBay, and they went ahead and lit the fire under DHL. It was hung up with DHL to be fair, but it was hung up in Italy with DHL. Well, here it is, and I have to say, it is nice. That's a nice, attractive unit. It is completely rebuildable and serviceable, whereas the factory is not, because this is screwed in at the bottom, and then also change out the nitrogen charge here. This particular shock has 7 different dampen settings, so I would assume that this is rebound damping, because compression would be up here, but who knows, maybe it is compression and rebound. The more expensive unit I was looking at had adjustable compression dampening. Yeah, compression and dampening, rebound dampening rather. I don't know how useful that would be on the 250 because you really don't have access to the top of the shock. I don't know, to work clickers up there, I guess after you did some tuning. What I like about this is hopefully I can access this, you know, with no tools at the bottom of the swing arm. So if I'm going to go to 2-up riding, I can just click that up and then click it back down for trail riding and road riding and 1-up riding. I did order the stiffest shock that they had. I told them I was 225 pounds with gear, and I did intend to ride 2-up and with luggage and hard stuff. So hopefully they sprung and dampened this to the max. I'm actually lighter than that with gear now. I'm about 215 with my gear on, but I absolutely positively wanted the stiffest one I could get, and boy, if I got to turn the clickers down all the way to soft, I'll be happy. Absolutely happy to do that. So we are going to get into it. I'll shoot some video maybe of the before and after, how the bike, the KLR 250 pogo stick rides. I really can't even assess the front until I have the back squared away. The back is just so out of control. The front's actually holding the bike down. Anything over 50 miles an hour, you can actually induce a resonated bouncing, and if you don't kind of chase that out with your legs and scoot up on the tank, over 60 it's really pretty sketchy hitting any bumps at all, but I've been trying to limit myself to under 60. So there we go. This is a tool, I presume, yes, to adjust the spring tension. It's pretty much all the way in its softest position, so I do have a lot of travel there to crank that down to get my preload and my ride height where I want it. So I got a tool, and most importantly, when you pay $600 for something from Italy and you get a fine, good-looking box like that, you want some dang stickers. And I got some dang stickers, so we'll have to figure out where we're going to put those stickers. Alright, I'm going to bring the bike in a little bit. Maybe I'll shoot some video of it boinging down the road, and then get her on the stand and go to work. Alright, stay tuned. Okay, so we got the 250 in the shop here, the KLR Kawasaki for the shock absorber swap out with the Bitubo aftermarket replacement unit. Shock came out much easier than I thought. I had seen a bunch of people say that you had to remove the whole rear subframe, and I will show you in a minute how I was able to avoid that. But just getting the shock out on the bench and mounting it, or laying it down next to the replacement unit, everything adds up. Length looks good, holes look good, and the fork spacing looks good. So that would have been a real bummer if for some reason any of that was off. It'd be an expensive paperweight. So there you have it. So what I did was got the bike up on the motor jack with forward bias so that the back tire was in the air. Removed the upper strut bolt from there after taking the seat and the plastics off, and then had to remove 3 of the retaining clips and 2 of the linkage pins. Right there, everything in that grip tight tray is everything I had to take off to get that shock out. That's not a lot of stuff. Had it out pretty quick. So this rear subframe bolts on here, and on later models of the KLR 250 there. Earlier models of the KLR 250, the passenger peg was ridiculously mounted to the swing arm. I guess that was so the passenger could help beef up with their legs the ultra soft suspension. I don't know, that's a joke. But once I got it apart, I dropped the rear wheel as far down as it would go, and there was no way it was coming out. Then I noticed once I picked the tire up, there was actually enough clearance here to drop it out the bottom. So once I jacked that tire up, it's not even up all the way, I was able to get it out. And I did look at the, let me get my flashlight here. I was really quite pleased with the condition of the bearings inside. Bearings look good. They look like they have good grease. They're not in bad shape at all. Now would be a good time to service those as far as replacing them if need be. Seals look good. The grease looks good in there. Bearings look good in here as well. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to grease those up. But if those looked bad, I would probably even drop this 3rd pin out and grease it. But with the condition that that looks, I wouldn't even remove that to grease it. We'll see. We'll do it as I start riding this thing. Probably going to ride this mostly on the street, but I do intend to take it on some trails. Probably not going to be submersing it like I did with the old WR400 or anything like that. But yeah, so we'll slip that new unit in, and that's how I was able to avoid removing the whole subframe, which would have involved probably could have done it with the airbox still in there. I'm not sure. My plan was just to take this loose on both sides, loosen this, and then you could actually hinge this whole subframe up. But it's only 2 more bolts to take it off at that point. But you'd have to take the battery out and all that, so that's probably an extra half hour of work taking that off and putting it back on. Alright, so I'm going to slap that Italian job in there and put her back together, see how she do.